Glory to Jesus Christ. Today is Tuesday, April 12th. As we began yesterday's study of the Psalms, we looked at and saw that in the Lenten Triodion, we heard that Lazarus was sick. And I thought it was another good thing today that we would look in the Triodion and see what it has to say. So we have one of the verses that says, "Yesterday and today Lazarus is sick, and his sisters make it known to Christ. Prepare yourself with joy, O Bethany, to welcome as your guest the Lord and King, and to cry aloud with us, O Lord, glory to you." And so on this day, Lazarus is sick. We know that it'll be the next day that Lazarus will die, and we'll hear that tomorrow again in our study of the Psalms as well. But it's interesting to follow the path of Lazarus in this week leading up to his being raised from the dead. And also, in the Triodion today, we hear a verse that will lead us to the Psalms. And it says, "Wasted by the disease of sin, I lie on the bed of despair. O physician of the sick, visit me in your love for mankind, and most merciful, let me not sleep shamefully in death, but enable me to cry with all my heart to you, the bestower of mercy, O Lord, glory to you." And that phrase, "let me not sleep shamefully in death," this comes from the Psalms, and it comes from Psalm 12. And we have also, we can connect this with Lazarus because Christ mentions about his friend sleeping. And in John's Gospel, we hear that he tells his disciples, "Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up." And then his disciples said, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well." However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. And then Jesus said to them plainly, "Lazarus is dead." But he also says that he sleeps and he goes to wake him up. So let's read Psalm 12 and connect this idea of death. "How long, O Lord, will you forget me to the end? How long will you turn your face from me? How long will I take counsel in my soul, having grief in my heart daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Look upon me and hear me, O Lord my God, and lighten my eyes, lest I sleep in death, lest my enemies say, I have prevailed against him. Those who afflict me greatly rejoice if I am shaken, but I hope in your mercy. My heart shall greatly rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord who shows kindness to me. I will sing to the name of the Lord Most High." And Psalm 12 teaches the church how to attain to an exceedingly joyful heart in singing to the Lord, who is the end. By godly sorrow and repentance over sins committed, lest the devil and sinful passions be victorious, lest the sleep of death overtake one, and by hoping in the Lord's mercy. Psalm 12 is used as an evening prayer in the Compline service of the church during the Great Fast. So this idea of sleep, I can't help but think as the psalm begins, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me to the end? How long will you turn your face from me? How long will I take counsel in my soul, having grief in my heart daily?" This idea of how long will it take, I can't help but think of the sisters of Lazarus, Mary and Martha, who were wishing that Christ was there while Lazarus was sick. Maybe they even said the phrase, "How long, O Lord? How long will it be till you're here?" And then, because they're human beings like anybody else, they would have thought that now it was too late. And that now their brother is dead. But of course, Christ gives us that beautiful phrase that our friend Lazarus sleeps and I go to wake him up. But we can also think of that we can be asleep as we're going through life and not even be aware of Christ being there, not be aware of all the joy that he brings. So we have to be very careful of not falling asleep as we're here on earth. During Holy Week, that reminder will always be there. And even in the beginning of the fast, we heard at the canon of St. Andrew, my soul, arise. Why are you sleeping? The end is approaching. And that'll be a great reminder to us as we begin Holy Week as well. But then the other side of that is that Christ understands and teaches us that as we pass from this life, that we are falling asleep. And all the language of the church and all of its funeral services talk about someone who has fallen asleep. And that implies those beautiful words from Christ not to Lazarus, but to his disciples, that I go that I may wake him up. So may we all enjoy the time when Christ comes to wake us up, and may we recognize the voice of that shepherd when he calls us to wake up. Glory to Jesus Christ.